What is up, guys? You are live with the Talkative Epileptic podcast. It's your host, CoolBoy here. Thank you guys very much for listening. I really appreciate it. So, sorry, I'm still like literally warming up today. Today's been like such a not busy day for me. This is like one of the days I actually have a day off, and it's particular, because there are no events happening for the fall time. That mainly events are happening on weekends now instead of it being like like even on weekdays compared to like the summertime. I'm still adapting to my new surroundings still with work, which is why the podcast has been a bit there hasn't been a new episode in quite a while. So I've been very busy with that. There was also another we do have an episode currently in the editing phase. With that one, we had a bit of a technical issue with it. So what happened was that the podcast, I used Studio OBS to record, and the thing is my typical thing. What I do, I record on OBS so I could actually record not just my voice but also the person I'm interviewing, and I would extract the audio from the video to then edit the audio. The one issue I was having was the software I typically use for that editing process. It discontinued, so I had to scramble and find something else. And I was looking, even like there's like the websites online that you can see that have it. Those websites were not working, primarily because of the size of the video. The interview was like over an hour long, so the video was really, how'd I put it? It was because of the size of the video, the pot, wasn't extracting it unless if I bought a subscription or something like that, which that was like the one thing I was like trying to prevent from doing. But luckily I did find, a new software, was able to extract the audio. We're back on the editing phase. So that one's going to be for the next episode. For this one particularly, what's been going on, not just with me busy with work, but also with personal stuff. Basically, what happened was that I had a recent death in the family. For that one, it was my grandmother. The thing is that, and this is the reason why I do want to discuss it on the podcast. She was always there for me, especially when I was dealing with my seizures at that time. When I was a child, when I was in the hospital, she would be always visiting because the hospital that I was in the city and she lived in the city. She would visit me all the time, provided support, provided her, the love and support she would always provide. And then when it came to the point, that she needed the support and care, I was, always there for her. I've been, dealing with a lot of reflection, honestly. Not with the, reflection that like, I wouldn't say the reflection of, of grief, but I would say that the reflection of positivity, knowing that she's no longer in pain and she's no longer, suffering. My grandmother, she was always there for me, whenever I needed help, especially when I was in the hospital because of my seizures. She would always provide food. She would always come over whenever she wasn't busy. She was always there for me. And when she needed the support and the love and the care, I was there for her, because she was always there. And even outside of the hospital, she was always, very supportive. She was always very caring, very compassionate. She always made sure that like I was, everything was going all fine with me and dandy. I'm honestly very grateful for that. I feel that's like the reason why, I've been so busy with being reflective, because there's just been so much that she's done for me. Like for instance, when I actually had my brain surgery in 2016, when I woke up from that surgery, she was right there by the side of my bed. And it's actually funny because the first thing I told her, "Where are my cookies?" It's like a joke that I always ran with her, joking about cookies, because she never baked me cookies. And it was one time when she tried to bake me cookies that she almost she almost set the stove on fire. And I such a memorable moment. I have it on video. But it was just one of those memorable moments. Another moment I would say was when I was in the hospital. This was when when I was a child. She would actually provide me dinner. And not just for me, but also for, whether it be my mother or my father who was staying over. And she would always, we'd always do activities with each other. One activity in particular we love to do, and this is actually kind of like outside of the story, but we'd always joke about sports. Even though she wasn't really a particular sport watcher, but she would watch, like, whether it be like the Mets or it would be the Giants. I was always the one that was rooting for the opposite teams, because for me, I'm a Yankee fan and I'm a Jets fan. So every time that the Giants would be playing, I would just trash talk the Giants, and then she would just get pissed off at me, and then I'd always play around with her. We always had that playful love-hate relationship. So it was, such iconic relationship I've ever had with someone. She was just, I guess after her passing, I've just been in a state of reflectiveness that, I haven't had the opportunity to, like, be, in front of a mic or in front of a camera. Like, to be honest, this is actually like the first time I'm actually been like on my laptop setup, which is crazy because, I've been away from my computer in such a long time, not just because of, with work, but, just being reflective at the same time. Yeah, so I've just been very busy with reflecting the loss of my grandmother, because it's been a bit of it's been a really, a bit of an impact. But the one thing that has really brought me back to going back to creating content was that knowing if my grandmother did see me, like this, she would literally motivate me to get back to work. So I feel that is the reason why that I wanted to create this episode and, just have a brief talk about the special things that my grandmother has done, and, the relationship that we had. We would always joke with each other. We would always make each other get mad for some reason. But at the end of the day, we always love each other. And, when it does come to that point, for everything that she's done for me, I felt that I needed to support her and to care for her and to be by her side when that time, came. And, knowing her, if she were here, she would, I could literally just hear, just imagine her hearing her say thank you and I love you. And at the end of the day, I would say to people, if you do know anyone that is at this point, it's basically like the reminder of, like, for things that other people have done for you, do for them. And, at the end of the day, always say I love you to the people that you do love, because any day, at any time, any hour, at any minute, or any second, anything could possibly happen. So yeah, I just wanted to give this brief episode. She did a lot for me. She was there for me when I was going through my, seizures. And, she was always there supporting me, caring for me, and loving for me. And I couldn't thank her enough for everything that she's done for me. And I always truly appreciate it. I do thank you guys for listening to this, very short episode. I know it's not as lengthy as the other ones, but we will be coming out with the third episode pretty soon. I'm going to be editing it right now, so it is in the editing phase. So that's the one thing we will be taking care of, and that one should be coming out pretty soon. So just stay tuned. I am also I did add it. If you go to the bottom, you will see a link there that actually has a guest inquiry. So if you guys do want to be a guest on the Talkative Epileptic, and just have a conversation about anything, we could talk about anything, honestly. If you'd like to talk about, about your, skills, your talents, or just have just a regular conversation about anything, I'm opening up the doors to everyone, and, just fill it out, and we'll be in contact, to discuss, what you'd want to discuss. So, but on that note, thank you guys so much for listening. I truly appreciate it. Y'all come follow me on social media at CoolBoy_NY. Or if you want, you can also follow me, follow the Talkative Epileptic at TT Epileptic on Instagram. And I believe on Twitter too. No, it's not Twitter anymore, but on X. But yeah, on that note, thank you guys so much for listening. I truly appreciate it, and I will see you guys on the next episode.